I hope you're ready for this review because we're about to whip it out. Let's get rolling. Welcome to FYC Film Review. I am your host, Gagne. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Naldo.
I
Am I
just
embarrassing
wanna
you yet?
I just want to apologize to everybody who's offended by these puns day in and day out. Oh my
I
gosh,
know
what's
you're
up,
tired
man?
of them after 20 plus years, but look,
Whew. Getting
some
hot
people.
flashes here. What's up, buddy?
Oh, we are on the geriatric train to the past. I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you got to say. I know you didn't like this movie as much as me, so this will be fun.
Okay, let's get into it. I am not a fan of this movie. I was not a fan of this movie. I went in there with high hopes just because of Kingdom of Crystal Skull. When was that? Like 15 years ago or
Probably,
whatever
yeah.
it is? Oh my gosh, the opening scene, I was awful. They made him look young. I get
Mhm.
that. It still looks weird. It still looks weird, but they didn't even change his voice. You got a younger Indiana Jones with an 80-year-old voice. It doesn't match up. And then when he's running on top of the train, it looks like a video game. It looks like a video game. It just looked really bad. It was not needed. Stop it. Stop it. And there's so much CGI. The first three, there's so much like real props to use, trucks, trains, tanks, and now it's just CGI mess in the dark with clouds and smoke and a fake. Get out of here. I'm done.
He's
Let's rate
done. That's it.
it.
Okay,
Okay.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Not the greatest indie film, not Crystal Skull though, and I think a decent farewell if they're never going to make another one again. I'm completely in agreement. It was very distracting to hear an old 80-year-old man talk like a 30-year-old man, without the energy and um, the charm, I guess, that he had when he was rocking, Indy and Han Solo at the same time. He had that charm and that smile and that, he could just turn it on, and you're missing that in the beginning. However, I am going to say,
There's no
some
however.
welcome
Stop.
addition, Miss Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I
Oh,
loved her in this
oh,
movie.
oh my
Absolutely loved her.
gosh.
I heard lots of bad stuff about her, and I was like, look, I'm not some huge fan of hers. I didn't watch Fleabag. I think she's a talented writer. I liked her in this movie. I liked her as Indy's goddaughter. What was your issues that you took with her?
I didn't like it. I didn't like her attitude. I didn't like her just always felt like she was always mean to him. It almost felt
Mm.
like elderly abuse at one point. I didn't like her smugness. I just didn't like her in it. It's just the character,
Okay.
She's a great actress. I just didn't like her in this, and I didn't like the sidekick Teddy, who's supposed to be a version of Short Round.
Yeah, Teddy was rough.
Unnecessary,
Teddy
just
was rough.
unnecessary.
It felt like it was like they were trying to show you how similar she is by having, her have a young sidekick that she's kind of taken under her wing. But they do it in such a way that, like, look, we're gonna really hammer home this kid likes to fly. Why? Because he's gonna fly in the third act. And you're like,
Oh,
that kind of stuff was
oh.
unnecessary. It was the stuff in between that I enjoyed. It was, Indy putting the hat back on and, running from bad guys and fighting Nazis. And
Come on.
I,
Did you really like him on the horse? Did you enjoy that horse scene down the fake streets, the CGI streets, and him on the
no, because
horse going in the subway?
I didn't really understand why they needed to have that take place. You know what I mean? Like, why was it set that specific time? And that's kind of one of those things, like, I would ask a screenwriter, like, why did that need to be? Like, couldn't it just been New York? Couldn't it have been, like, why did it have to take place in the middle of a parade for the astronauts? Was it to be, I don't know. I struggled to, like, connect the dots. And so I think a lot of things happen in this movie, but they don't flow very well. There was some good, to the film. It wasn't great. And I think that ultimately it was a funny choice, like, at the end, for them to go travel back in time to where Archimedes was.
Yeah.
Like, they could have done anything. There were so many options, and they just didn't. And, you end up there where he wants to stay. And I like that part of it.
I that's the last 30 minutes I found myself going, oh, okay, this is interesting. I'm in it. I'm kind of in it. But it's the last 30 minutes of it. You know, they
Right.
travel back in time. I thought they were going to be traveling back in time throughout the whole movie,
Mm.
but they're trying to find this dial. It's just, you know, he's underwater. Got an 82 Indy underwater looking for treasure and fighting electric eels. Oh,
Because they're water snakes, man. Come
gosh.
on. Come on.
You know what I did appreciate in this movie was the seriousness of what happens to Mutt
Mm.
Jones. How, and it was such a serious moment, but that was such a good arc. Like Mutt's gone and he's dead. He fought in the war, and that's
Hmm.
why Indy and Marion have problems. I'd rather seen this drama Indiana Jones than Helena and Teddy taking poor old Indiana Jones on a ride that he doesn't want to go on.
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and I guess I don't know. They didn't do a good enough job of really explaining like her being the goddaughter and like what happened from the time that like he leaves her house and she last sees him when she's 12 to like
Yeah.
now she's a
Wombat.
35-year-old. Yeah, and like the nickname and stuff, like it felt disingenuous. I liked her character though. I enjoyed her as
Okay.
like kind of that wisecracking, like keep up old man person, because this movie's a lot about him like kind of giving up on life. And I at least appreciated that arc where like at the very beginning, he's no Marion, no Mutt. We don't know what happened. He's kind
Right.
of just retiring and falling away, and then you get one last ride and Marion comes back, and I appreciated that, and I do like the Mutt story. I do think it's funny that they killed him off. That was kind of great.
I whatever. We get Antonio Banderas. We get Puss in Boots in this movie. He's a sailor captain, and
Sure.
he eats it anyway. So
Did he just call somebody and say he wanted to be in an Indiana Jones movie? Like, it's just so weird that like, hey, Indy, like, and all of a sudden he's got another friend. Like let Sala come along. Like, who cares about you?
Solid can barely walk, man. No,
But he
these
wanted
guys.
to go, and Indy was like, no, I'm good. I'm okay as this old man, but you're not. You're just the cab driver.
Indy.
I loved Sala. Like,
I do too. I like him.
he should have
too.
at least gone with him to like start the adventure. I'm not saying he needed to crawl through all the ruins here, but yeah.
Oh, gosh, I don't know, man. Like I said, the last 30 minutes is what I enjoy. That's it. This whole movie just.
Did you like it more than Crystal Skull?
Surprisingly, I wanted to go back and watch Crystal Skull
Okay.
because this left such a bad taste in my mouth. Listen, the
Did you
monkey
watch it?
swing and the with Mutt, it's almost like I can probably forgive that. This movie was just bad. It was just bad. Every time Teddy came on the screen, I was like, oh, this kid. What's he doing?
He's no short round. That's where they should have gone back in time,
Oh,
just like go back to what happened to him in short round. Like, give me something. Like, if this is gonna be his last adventure, they could have done more, especially if you're doing a story about time travel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm done.
He's
I'm
done.
ready to rate. Let's
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready to rate if you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it. How many?
All right.
What are we doing?
Whips. We have
Whips.
to do whips.
How many whips
how
are
many
you
whips?
whipping on this one? You're
One
going
whip,
first.
Bad 5 whips being amazing. All right, I'll go first. I am such a big Indiana Jones fan. You know me. We've known each other for a long time. I'm a huge Indy fan. But this just was bad. It made me want to watch Kingdom of Crystal Skull. I'm gonna go with 2.5 whips on this one. 2.5 whips. Listen, if the original director and producer couldn't find that magic again in Kingdom of Crystal Skull, what makes you think this other director and Kathleen Kennedy could produce something better? There's no way. It was bad. I understand they're milking it. I get it. You want to milk it, but man, sometimes even myself, I wanted this so bad. I texted you like, hey, look, there's a new trailer. I wanted this, but sometimes maybe we need to be careful of what we ask for. Just saying. 2.5 whips. I'm out.
While I will say I think Indy needs to hang up the whip and the hat and call it a career, I had fun with this one. I thought it was a little less farcical than Crystal Skull, and so I'm giving it 3.5. I enjoyed it. I had fun. I had a little nostalgia, and ultimately it was a good Indiana Jones. I challenge you to go back and watch Raiders, because it is a campy film, and it is not what we hold in this high regard. Like for me, Raiders is not even the best Indiana Jones.
Neither
So
for me.
Last Crusade, right?
Temple of Doom for me.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So I think that like for that reasons, like I watched Raiders before going to watch this, and I was like, I need to see how it started. And because of that, I think I appreciated this kind of way that they wrapped it up. Wasn't perfect, way too long, but 3.5.
That's okay. 3.5 whips to 2.5 whips. As far as I'm concerned, Indiana Jones ended with with the Last Crusade, with all 4 guys riding into the sunset. Perfect ending. That's it. No more Indy. Let him rest.
Yep.
Let him rest. He needs the rest. We don't need any more Indy.
Yeah.
We're done.
We're not going to get any more. They're on strike. We'll be lucky if Harrison Ford's still alive when movies get made again. So
Who knows? They might use a young Indiana Jones and not have to pay him. And I don't know.
Lord help us.
Yeah. Anyways.
And if you're going to use someone young, use their young voice. Figure it out.
Like
My
how?
God.
Come on.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's all we got, folks.
Okay.
We're Indied out.
Yeah.
Next time, we'll hopefully have a better option for you so that we don't make Ronaldo so mad.
Wow, sounds good.
I've been your host, Gagne. Thanks for watching FYC Film Review, guys. With me, as always, my partner, Naldo, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good one, everyone.